back to the Authentic BA podcast. I'm Bumi Falari. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Make sure you smash the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I post a new video. So today we're looking at the pitfalls a business analyst should do everything in their power to avoid. Let's get into it. So the first thing I want you as a business analyst to do everything you can to avoid is carrying your ego with you into discussions. As a business analyst, you're never going to be right all of the time. So it would do you well if you leave your ego or your desire to be right at the door when you get into discussions or you're having conversations either with your stakeholders or your technology team. In fact, I think the key thing about this is that you need to have thick skin and be able to deal with criticism. So go into discussions with a mindset of finding the right answers as opposed to being right. Take on board feedback from other people and leverage the experiences within your team or within your stakeholder community. The next pitfall to avoid is lacking emotional intelligence. As a business analyst, you must be able to manage your own emotions as well as the emotions of other people. This means that you've got to be self-aware, you've got to be able to self-regulate, you've got to be able to motivate yourself, show empathy where needed, and also be able to demonstrate a wide range of social skills. So being able to take a joke, for example, being able to understand social nuances. You know, if you're working with a bunch of Americans or a bunch of British people, what is their nature? What are the tendencies? And are you able to function within those social groups? The next pitfall a BA should try to avoid at all costs is perfectionism. Yes, you need to produce flawless results, but you need to know when enough is enough. There's a difference between perfection and excellence. Rather than striving for perfectionism, strive instead for excellence. The difference is that someone striving for perfectionism is often driven by a fear of failure, whereas someone striving for excellence is often motivated by a desire to succeed. Pitfall number 4 that a BA should try to avoid at all costs is the rabbit hole syndrome. This is where somehow a business analyst develops some sort of tunnel vision, either because they've assumed that every requirement that comes from the business is valid, or they have decided to focus on a subset of users who are the loudest or the most vocal. The challenge with this is that once you focus on one user group or the user group who is shouting the loudest, you tend to have tunnel vision and you miss out on other opportunities for developing and finding a well-rounded set of business requirements. As a business analyst, you must be able to validate the requirements that you've been given. So making sure that those requirements are real business needs that need to be met. I've done a video about gathering requirements, so go watch that video to get a bit more information on how you can do that excellently. But make sure that you don't find yourself in a situation where you've developed some sort of tunnel vision, or because you feel every requirement from a business user is a valid requirement. Sometimes those requirements are just moans or complaints by the business users because either they don't like the system as it is, or they just don't understand how to use it, for example. So there's several things that you can do in order to help them through that process, but make sure that you don't get a tunnel vision or a rabbit hole syndrome as a result of that. Number 5 pitfall a BA should avoid at all costs is never asking why. This has got to be the most important pitfall that you must avoid. As a BA, you must constantly be asking why. That is one of the most fundamental and most important questions that a BA needs to ask. You can't just take everything you hear or everything you're told, hook, line and sinker. You've got to understand why. And why do we ask the question why? We want to understand the purpose. We want to link back what we're doing to the business objectives or the business goal. So make sure you always ask why. There's a book that was written by Simon Sinek. It's one of my favorite books and it's called Start With Why. Very, very inspirational book. I recommend that you get a copy of that book as a business analyst and read it back to back. Always ask the question why. Well, thank you for listening to me today. I hope you found this video useful. If you have, please like, comment and share. I would also really love to hear from you. If you're a business analyst out there and you have other pitfalls that you think people need to really watch out for, please share them in the comment section. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you guys. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.